Welcome to What Ha Happened, the podcast where we talk about our latest chismes,
or gossip for you non-Spanish speaking folks,
crazy travel stories, hood memoirs, and food and wine.
This is an adult podcast,
So some of our topics may make our listeners a wee bit uncomfortable.
Listener discretion is advised.
And if you're of legal drinking age,
Grab a glass of wine
or a beverage of your choice, and enjoy the show.
Samba Mama, I love it.
Samba Lala.
Samba Lala.
Well, it's going to be called Samba Fun with Lala.
Have some samba fun with Lala.
Yeah, because it's not like, this is a very, I want it to be like there's no pressure to look.
Right.
I just want this to be like a very free class.
Yeah.
There is no right, wrong, there's no choreo, there's nope. You just have fun.
It's much
Samba
like
fun with Lala.
Valeria is talking about, where you bring your own style into the samba and
Well,
let the music.
yeah, but also,
And I'm very honored that you're taking that methodology.
I mean,
very,
where
very
else would I
honored.
take it from?
Very, very honored. It's just crazy how, how far you're taking because it's just an idea, right? You have fun, you dance together, and then she's taking it to the next level. So this is...
I just want
great
to
to
bring that same type of, and since you left, I figure maybe I need to pass on the, ¿cómo se dice la pinche chingadera with the
The
fire?
baton or the torch. The baton, the torch.
The torch,
Leave
whatever.
it to the younger generation.
Right.
Younger. I'm like, I'm not that young. Wait.
Or younger than me.
But no, I wanted to do it in your honor, like your
Thank you, sweet.
your presence, your essence, your honestly, it really changed me, how I saw myself, how I saw my body, how I felt more confident, because before that I really felt so and back then and now I look at my pictures and I'm like, shit, I wasn't even fat. I was like super fit. And I don't know why I had these visions of myself, like not, like I don't know why I felt inadequate or whatever. And so now I'm just like, fuck that. Like, no, I need to start teaching. And especially because in our folklorico group we have a lot of younger girls, and so I want to start teaching them, like,
Exactly.
no, girls, please, let's
Start young.
Let's start breaking from these fucking chains of, like you were saying,
Labels.
Hollywood.
Labels.
Labels.
Yes.
This is samba.
Yes.
Remove all labels.
Para todo povo.
Para todo povo.
Para todo
É para
povo.
todos. Samba é para todos.
We can translate that for the folks out there.
Samba is
about-
for everyone.
Recording?
Yeah, I'm recording.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Samba is for everyone.
Yeah. So, but
I'm getting all the back. This is all the behind the scenes of what happens in the podcast.
Style.
yes.
It's the freedom of style,
Exactly. And it's just like,
especially when that live drumming is going.
oh my God. And especially like when I traveled throughout like Central America and parts of South America, and then I learned the different types, because I always went to their cultural centers to learn like their type of dance, but always there's drums, and I'm like, oh,
But now,
Meat and
it's
drums.
nice that you brought this up, because you've actually now been to Brazil. You've been through Carnival, right? To the Carnival trip. You've been to the, not just the samba drum, but you've been to the community rehearsal, right? Now, you tell me, and you confirm this, right? Which is that live drumming is going at the rehearsal.
it's electric.
Actually, she's got thrown in, and this is what I mean by when you're ready to do a solo, you're ready to do a solo. It's not for everyone. When we really practice that solo style, that freedom of style of dancing, the samba, listening to the drum and just going, with that flow. So you've been in that situation, because it's a funny story. We went to the samba rehearsal, and at the last minute, they were called onto the stage.
We didn't know.
Perform.
And they didn't know to perform live. Like, we got in, we walked through to the back of the stage and onto the stage.
And then they're like, ta-da.
And she was
And
ready.
welcome.
And she was ready.
Well, I was stunned. And I was
She
just
was
like,
scared shitless.
what are we doing? And
That's it.
then as we're walking
Scared,
upstairs,
but-
and I'm like, are we dancing on stage? And
Yes,
I'm like,
you are, and you're ready.
and I
And
was
I
like,
remember letting them all
okay.
know you can do this.
And I was like, okay.
You can do this. You know, and that's the beautiful thing you want to see at the end of the day. That's you know the music, you know the beat. Doesn't matter if you're in the U.S. or if you're in Brazil. You know that beat of the drums.
But can I, and I feel that the reason why, well, at least for me, I'm not sure. I wasn't paying attention to what anybody else was doing, but I was just like, well, this is what, because always since I've taken classes with her, you always, so she teaches you like kind of like to go to the four corners, kind of like
Cover all areas on stage. Yeah.
And so I was just like, okay, well, here you go.
Wait, so in your solo, you covered all the four stages?
Well,
Yeah.
because we had several people on stage, but you tried to come up forward and then go to the side. And so because I was the latter end on the far right, I tried to go to the right and then just look up and then, look at everybody and then, and then look at the people on stage because I'm also dancing with,
Yeah,
the people on
basically the
stage.
connection with people on stage and the
people on
watching.
Yeah,
People are
and
watching.
So, just. But I seriously was so stunned, and I was just like, "What am I doing
And she
here?"
did great. And you can actually, when you edited this, you can add the little clip of her dancing on stage.
Wait,
at
do we
that
have
time.
that on stage?
Oh,
When
yes.
you guys
I
were doing.
Yes.
uploaded it to the drive.
Yeah,
It's on the
yeah,
drive.
you have that. It's an incredible. I mean, this is a live, full, on stage, live, solo, drumming, dancing samba in Brazil.
And we were presented, like we are being presented as, what were we called?
It's RioBela, the Project Dancers, American Dancers, something like that. I don't know.
Something, yeah, I don't know.
Well, but I think it's also called the because we were part of the place where we were parading. So we were actually part of that the float. So they named the float where we were parading, the Abrialas. So members, Abrialas is like the opening float of the parade for that
The
group.
first.
So
Like you
I
open
put
your
them up.
wings.
Trust me, sweetie, it's a VIP package.
It's the Queen package. The Queen
Yeah.
Queen package. I should call it the Queen package.
You should call it the Queen package because I really did feel like that, honestly, and like, and especially like running into I mentioned it in the last podcast, was we ran into this girl who was just like running around in the same outfit that we had, and she was just like, what am I supposed to do? Nobody told her anything. She's coming from Spain, so she was just completely lost, like just. And I was starting to think like, oh my God, and we have like our robes. And she was looking at us like, how come you guys
No,
have
she was
robes?
lucky to even be in that green room. 'Cause,
Yeah.
How did she just stumble into the green
Well,
room?
Alex saw her outside in the, in the middle of the community.
One of her, like her people, her
The team.
support system found her, and he was just like, oh, that's one of our outfits. And she was just running around not knowing
Wait,
where
was
to
she
go.
part of your group or was she?
No.
No.
Not at all.
She was not part. Well, I mean, she's coming from another country. She didn't know about us, so she's
Right.
wearing the same costume. Of course, she didn't have the robe like we prepared for the ladies, like Muses.
So she was like,
But
hey,
she's
where's my
completely
robe?
lost. Yes, she did ask us, like, where's my robe? I said, I'm sorry, you're not part of the.
You didn't get the Queen package.
You didn't get the Queen package.
You didn't. Did you pay for the Queen package? Let me double. Oh my!
And I mean, but that
No, but
that VIP room, that green room, it's really where it's specific for all the queens and the muse that will parade, but mostly the samba queens that will come and relax and rest and get ready. You have your own bathroom, and the same with the VIP boxes.
only for the samba queens.
Yes.
Only for the samba queens.
So we really did have that Samba Queen experience.
Yes, and it's nice. It's like she said, it's an experience. The same way I had both sides of
The non queen package, which is in the heat, waiting 3 hours or
Wetting
2
through
hours.
your
Yeah,
pastries, your pasties, not pastries, pasties.
Yeah.
that would be funny. Croissants or pan dulce. Like, I mean, maybe to me, you guys laugh, but to a man, that's like pan dulce. Sorry, I had to go there. I can see how that would work.
So which package would you?
He was like, I would like the pastries package.
I would like the pastries package. Pastries package for me, please. My samba girls always go to the pastry package.
Oh, okay.
All right.
But but back.
The pastry.
We're gonna remember this next year. But back to where we were before, just to mention just the one more stand up for kids.
So, okay, we took a little break.
Right.
And then,
Hello, this is what happened,
yeah,
and
we're continuing. We had to take like a little minor break, and but so now we started recording.
we're recording.
That's gonna be edited later.
Maybe not. Who knows?
Who knows? Maybe we need that in our lives.
But okay, so
Everybody needs a little pastry.
I mean, I'm not gonna say no.
Oh, okie I love her laugh.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so now let's going back. So you are now volunteering.
Yeah, we had the SACA, Sexual Assault Crisis Agency. We had to stand up for kids for 18 that gets dropped off the system. And then we had
The end of the world. You get just dropped off.
Yeah.
Package of tokens.
With the token
With the
bag.
tokens.
It was so interesting, especially the outreach program for these kids to actually go to where they are on the streets, and talk with them and provide some type of support to them. And some of them want to take it, others don't. But, the ones you can reach out to and actually connect with and help, it's, they need to want it, right? Because at that age, they're
Very
18.
important.
And then there is also a homeless shelter in Long Beach in between SACA and actually Stand Up for Kids, which was interesting because, and that's where the format, that's the one, and that's why I always wait to speak about that one last, is because the format for the Cultural Center is pretty much the format that this homeless shelter had. It's incredible what they do in Long Beach. And I remember a lady asking me for a bra, because they have, when you come in, they make a long line outside, they open the gates, and then outside, before you even get into the building, they have a his and hers closet. They have a washer and dryer for them to wash their clothes. They have a his and hers shower. So they shower, they put new clothes on, they wash their clothes, and then they come into the building. There's a big cafeteria where they make cookies all year round to sell to help with the shelter, the finances of the
Wait,
shelter.
they bake cookies to.
They bake cookies and they sell it all year round. Yeah.
I like cookies.
And
Pastries.
And then you go to the second floor and you have a computer lab room. And then people go in and they file for unemployment. They do their resumes. And then the third floor is where I was volunteering the dance class, my samba classes, for them to keep the exercise and the, get that motivation and self-esteem, whatever you want to call it. And, so between these three, and of course my employment agency, right, recruiting since 2000, it's 2024 now. I've been doing it for almost 25 years. You can't help it but to put that's pretty much everything I've learned, because you have to go through the process of becoming a volunteer with them. So it's everything I've learned. It's everything I've done that I've been doing. I've been ready for this for so long. When I put this Empowerment Center together, I was looking out at the notes from 2016 Then you have 9 years of fundraising and volunteering and helping the kids in Brazil. So it's like, what am I doing? It's like, so all of a sudden you turn 50, and that, 50 is a turning point. No matter what people say, turning 50 is a turning point in your life. And you wonder what you've been doing, what's going on, where you are in your life. You do this quick recap of everything that's been
Is that
going
what
on.
they call the midlife crisis?
Yes.
The midlife crisis is at 50.
So all you
And
folks,
you know,
that's coming to you soon.
Yeah.
Coming to a year in your life
My
soon.
poor boyfriend at the time, it's like I felt the pressure too.
Relieve the pressure. Maybe we can adjust the camera so you're centered just a little bit. Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
And, it was that turning point, and that turning point caused me to move to Florida. Change whatever my son was doing in California, he changed to Florida as well. Quick note, he's gonna play football in college. Yay. So I registered the business. I just did it. It's like, this is my mission. Some people told me in the past, I don't remember who at this point, but someone told me in the past that whatever you think about every day, and you go to bed thinking about every day, and you wake up and you're thinking about that thought every day, and it's every day, it's constant, about something that you should be doing and you're not doing, and you're constantly thinking about that as to why you're not doing that yet, or why you haven't started doing that yet. You don't forget. It's in your heart, it's in your mind, it's every day, and it's there, it's constant. And it's a mission. It's a mission. It's not, it's not going to bring me peace until I do it, which is, the Empowerment Center. It's like, it's a mission to help other people. There's a lot of, I was talking to Lala outside. It's like, there's a lot of little Valerias out there that want to become the big Valerias.
Yeah.
They just need
They all want to be samba mamas.
And the samba, and it's kind of funny. So it all started with samba. This is how powerful samba is, if you think about it.
Well, beats and music transcend language, right? So
It all
I
started
believe
with
that.
dancing samba
yeah,
with one foot backwards.
1 foot backwards. We can all do it.
That's how it started. And then, and the name came about a little bit because my daughter, she went to school for business entrepreneurship program. And then at the end of her program, she had to interview an entrepreneur. And by then I already had my employment agency, and she interviewed me. And that was the piece that was missing. And between my daughter's interview, which she named Wonderwoman in Feathers.
Oh man, that's amazing.
Yeah. She interviewed her mom, the entrepreneur she interviewed, and she named her paper Wonderwoman in Feathers. So, I have no word. When your daughter does this for you,
Right.
that's her.
But it's also recognition, that she sees what you're doing. That's gotta mean a lot.
Wonder Woman in Feathers.
I love that so much. I love that so much.
So Valéria RioBela, Wonder Woman in Feathers, is coming. It's ready. And the piece I was looking for that was missing, I found it in Brazil at that parade. And the puzzle is all together, and the samba classes are going to flourish. The cultural center is going to flourish, and it's the mission. And this whole thing came together, and we're going to be doing. And I really believe that I am in Florida right now for a reason, because Florida is where there is the largest Brazilian community outside of Brazil.
Right?
And we're going to do a Brazilian Carnaval in Florida.
To the streets of Miami?
Oh, yes.
Oh, wow.
And we want to do a carnival like the Brazilian Carnival. It's not a festival. It's a parade. It's a
Yes,
parade.
queen.
Everybody's coming. Everybody's joining. It's going to happen. And then we are going to bring everybody from the US from this parade. Whoever wants to come, if you want to, there's a style for everyone. Whoever wants the VIP, the Queen package, is available. If it's the community, let's get it. Let's hustle, get sweaty in the middle of the community outside, go over the overpass. I've done it,
Right.
been there. It's available.
Nobody's gonna say no.
You
Just
know what
come
I
on,
mean?
come on, come on.
However you want to parade, it's available. We're going to hold your hand. We're going to bring you. We're going to have fun. You're going to have that experience in the safest, fun way possible. So between the carnival in Florida, the carnival in Brazil, it's there. And then we are also going to eventually come back to California with the cultural center. We're going to have a cultural center in Florida, and we're going to have a cultural center where our beautiful Lauda here is going to lead that cultural center, culture and empowerment center. And let me explain this cultural part of it, of the center. And it's, as I mentioned, I have the employment agency, and I did this fundraiser for the kids. We helped the kids. I was in the capoeira community then in Bahia, right?
Wait, so you're like martial artist. For those of you who don't know what
I'm the
capoeira,
Loba.
if you don't know what
Oh,
capoeira is,
Loba.
it's a Brazilian style martial art
Yes.
that incorporates dance moves.
Yeah.
My capoeira name is
And it has drumming.
yes.
There's drumming.
Well, you do martial arts to drumming.
And I put my son in it first, and then I wanted to connect with him as well. So he's
Right.
Leonzinho, which is little lion,
Oh.
and I'm the Loba. And how they give you the name is how you actually play in the circle. So they watch you play, and they kind of see how, it's usually an animal, an insect name that they give you.
Oh my stars!
So I don't know why they call me the Loba. The Loba is the she-wolf.
She wolf. I can see that.
that
I
like
can see the
aggressive?
she wolf.
She
I
wolf,
can see she wolf.
like Shakira's she wolf, una loba en el armario.
Loba. Ow.
Oh my star.
Yeah, exactly. She knows what I'm talking about.
But anyway, so this, so doing the cultural, because of the fundraisers I've done back then, I implemented the feathers in the fundraiser. Because when you think of a fundraiser for a nonprofit, to gather money to help a nonprofit, people think it's boring, right? So the moment I bought the drummers and the feathers, the girls
Something else
came in.
changes.
They came in a t-shirt. They came in the jeans, right? They represented their culture too. They had the cocktail dress. It wasn't an evening gown. The cocktail dress, and then they had the feathers. They became the samba feathers. And the
We like
drumming, and
feathers.
and everybody thought it was such a fun event. So I really believe that the cultural background that you carry, whatever cultural background you have, if you're Brazilian, anywhere you're from, when you bring that into play with your samba step and make that your own samba, or you bring that into a cultural event in your life, it's really reaching back to your roots. That's the main thing about that cultural. So it's not just empowerment center. That's easy to do. Well, let's get empowered. Let's, give you some tools for that. But are you really in touch with your cultural background? Are you really in touch with your roots? Because until you are, you're not ready for the next step. Speaking from experience, here I am, 54 years old, finding my, the piece that was missing.
The
Finally,
cultural
to feel
part.
complete.
Yeah. And culturally, I mean, in Los Angeles, there are like many, I mean, we kind of touched on this. There's so many cultures, but it would seem to me the dance and martial arts and kind of like, it's pretty open, right? So nobody's going to say, no, don't come in. I've done Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, and like the culture is just like, all right, come on, just get into it,
Come on in.
Everybody starts from the bottom up. So, if you want to, you can do it for
Right.
sure.
That's the key.
Yeah. And so culturally, like, do you find any differences? Like, do you find any, like, what are do you see any obstacles, like, in the city? Like, you're in Miami, or not Miami, but Florida. Let me just say Florida, versus California, you know, because you're in a bigger Brazilian community. How do you see coming back to California and sharing? I mean, what are the differences, and how do we, like, present dance and culture a little bit? Like, how do you open it up? How do you see yourself bringing more people into the culture, bringing more people into the samba? Because, when people think samba, I don't know what they think. I don't know what they think. They think carnival, they think exotic, but samba is every day, right?
Yeah. Well, there's two parts to that. When people think samba, just thinking back when I lived in Brazil, right? So if you're from Rio, like I was, even though I was from the suburbs of Rio, so carnival time, what happens? The locals, we go away to the beach cities. We don't want to deal with carnival, right? Because the city gets too crowded, it's too busy. It's a week vacation that you have. Let's take advantage and go to the beach, go to Búzios, go to, Cabo Frio, whatever. But if you're from the community, that's especially the communities that parading, you're very involved, right? You're there, you're participating, you're going. There's some people that think samba is just for the poor people. Of course, you have the rich people there sitting at the VIP boxes and having the queen packages, to watch
Look over there,
carnival
Lala.
from a whole different, standpoint. But there's a community that's putting this together. The day to day struggling community putting this together. So, there's two sides of it, of carnival. There's that very poor, there's the very rich. Somehow we all come together during that parade.
It's like two worlds collide.
Two words collide, yeah. Worlds collide. But as far as community I have been very fortunate with my American friends in California. Of course, I've only been in Florida for 3 years, but I've been, I lived in California for many, many years, right? And since 1993, and I've been very fortunate.
Me too.
have-
That's when I immigrated to the United States.
Yeah,
Ish.
my American friends that do the Brazilian events or the Brazilian classes or the jiu-jitsu or capoeira or whatnot, that have really, had that sense of respect for the culture and tried their very best to present, what it is, what the culture offers, and, be as respectful as possible. Of course, you're not Brazilian, you're not going to be 100%, but, they're like 95% there, and presenting it in the very, the best way possible, which, I've been very glad that they, been able to do it. Now, as far as the Brazilian communities being involved, and being there 100% to support other Brazilians, because it's California, I feel like it's very far away from each other and it's somewhat divided. Like if you have Brazilian Day LA, right? You're in LA and then the communities are so far from each other, right? Or if you have the Brazilian Day San Diego, which is, a good friend of mine, which is actually a capoeira mestre, Paulo Batuta does, so we do our best to bring all the other communities come to San Diego, to support and promote his event, which is beautifully done, the Brazilian Day San Diego. And then we have Mestre Mariano, which is another, that does the solstice parade in Santa Barbara, which is another parade. So I've, tried my very best to bring the people to these different areas to support and make sure it doesn't die.
Yeah,
know.
and I feel like, well, what at least, and not to say that this is only because of you, but it's just like, well, I remember back in the days when there was still, like, when you were instructing me, I feel like, because I went to Samba LA Day or whatever it was called, I forgot. But it felt like there was more community, and now, like right now, I feel like there is none, at least in LA. There's still something in San Diego and there's still something in Santa Barbara. So how would you, like, if it was up to you, if you had like a magic wand, how would you be able to unionize or have this marriage between these, like, ultimate, like, how would you envision like bringing these people together, like, so that it was more of a unification instead of having separate, sections of California? Because I mean, California is really big, and so I understand that logistically, of course, you're gonna have some separation, but like, how would you envision like marrying all these different groups throughout California so that they're more collaborative?
Collaboration, yeah. Growth and contribution. That's that's the key to everything. It's really about preparation, and knowing the dates of these events first and foremost, and the commitment to really collaborate with others and understand. I mean, fully understand that there's room for everyone, and understand that if together you're stronger. Together you're stronger. It's believing in that contribution and growth with everyone, and there's no, and again it comes back to those six what do you call
The tenets of
no
six.
it's
We mentioned that
goodness.
earlier.
it's like the name just
What, where?
Yeah, the W's, the why, what, where, when, how.
It's like it's certainty,
what?
uncertainty, significance, love, connection, and then growth and contribution.
Growth and contribution.
It's basically it's the six. What do you call? My goodness, it was on the tip of my tongue. But anyway, I'll remember. But it's like I forgot now. But human needs.
The
Six human needs.
Six
That's
human
what it
needs.
is. And people have it at different stages and different, but the six human needs is the same for everyone. And this by Tony Robbins, not me. I did not come up with this. But it's the same for everyone. People just have it at different, areas, right? So it's certainty, uncertainty, significance, love, connection. And these are the emotional needs. And then growth and contribution, which are the spiritual needs. So if you get to the level where you live by growth and contribution, life is semi-perfect.
Semi-perfect. There's always something better.
There's
It can always be better. It can always be better.
That's why it's growth.
That's why there's growth.
And then, I tell my employees and candidates when they interview that I promise them 80% of what they're looking for in their careers. And they look at me like 80%. I said, yes, life is 80-20. Even, yes, life is 80-20. Even in relationships, it's life is
Lala, the light bulb goes on.
when you
maybe
buy-
it is 80-20.
When you buy a property, you have two loans. You have a loan for 80%, you have a loan for 20%. When you have a deductible, most of the time you have a 20% deductible. When you get to the point where you retire, you have 80% Medicare and you have a 20% private insurance to pay for the difference.
Who made this
Yeah.
formula up? Sounds
Yeah.
bananas. But it's true. It's much like one of those things that's like the perfect formula. It's what everybody uses.
It's 80-20. So if you get 80%, you're doing great. I mean, who has 100%?
If I can get 80%, I'd be very happy.
And I tell people all the time, I said, if you can get 80%, if you can live at 80%, and then all of a sudden you're like doing some poor choices, or for whatever reason now you're living at 60%. So you want to live at 80% or 60%? I want to live at 80%. So what's 80% when you get a job? Really, it's like what's the 20%? What I try to explain to them, it's life. It's still Monday morning at 7:30 or 6:30, whatever, and your alarm is going off, and you have to go to work on Monday.
7:30 every day, no matter what.
So
That
you
sounds
still have
like a
to get up and
nightmare
you have
to
to go
me.
to work. You still have to deal with an upset customer. You still have to deal with an annoying coworker. You still have to go grocery shopping. I hate grocery shopping.
I love grocery
I was gonna say I love grocery
Oh
shopping.
no! If I could, I would order everything online. So I think I'm the only woman left that hates shopping.
Well, it's who you're shopping with.
Okay, I
Possibly.
don't like shopping, but I do like grocery shopping just because, like, if I order something, like for example, the last time I was here, Rich ordered some limes, and they were
They were
all
so bad.
not ripe. And it's just like, I know limes are green, but there's a way of finding out if they're ripe or not. And they brought him like the dry, and so
It was bad.
and we had like, I'm not sure if we had somebody else that we were interviewing, or I don't know what we were doing, but it was gonna make margaritas, and like couldn't because these were the driest limes, and I'm like,
The driest limes.
I've ever seen. There was no juice coming out of them, and I'm like, how am
I was gonna say an
make?
inappropriate joke, but I'm not. I'm not. I'm not gonna say it.
Anyway, it was just yeah. So that's why I like grocery shopping, because I'm like, I know what I want, I know what's ripe, I know what's, and then when I'm there, I'm like, oh my god, I can do this and I can do, and I love cooking, so like I love to cook.
Yeah.
And so then I'll like go by the white section, I'm like, oh my god, what'll go good with this meal, and you know, so like I feel like I can't do that if I have it online shopper for my food.
Yeah.
For everything else, maybe yes.
I mean, I think the online shopping is wonderful if you can, if there's things that you know, like a certain type of rice or
I haven't done it
toothpaste.
yet.
Yeah.
I've been threatening to do it. I still go to the
Next podcast, we all go shopping together.
You have been threatening. He's like, oh, one of these days I'm gonna start doing this
to go
online.
shopping.
But it's like in and out. I like to do the in and out, kind of
for
thing.
sure.
And as far as shop, which brings to that next, just to summarize as to how it got to here with the Valéria RioBela Wonderwoman in feathers, is that piece that was there at the parade in which I came to Brazil to look for, which is a very hot subject. I've been studying it now for the past year and a half. It's the woman's femininity, the feminine energy from a woman. Very serious, very important, because I truly believe, after studying this for a year and a half, which is not that long, but enough to understand a few things, that we are born with our male energy. That's why we bear the children. So it's it's that it takes a certain level of male energy there to carry a child for 9 months and actually
you have
give
to have
birth.
fucking balls to fucking push
you.
out a motherfucker after creating a motherfucker in your
size
goddamn
of this
belly.
head.
Yes.
Thank you.
10 centimeters, bro.
And let's not
10.
talk about contractions, right?
Okay. Yes.
The pain of contraction.
contractions.
You know what this doctor did to my last pregnancies? I gave Vincent's dad, I think it was Kayla's dad, so many daddies. No, just 2 daddies.
I was like,
But
which
it was
favorite
Kayla's dad, I
daddy?
think. Kayla's dad, whatever. One of the daddies.
One of the daddies. They were in the
It doesn't matter.
It
It's
gave
whatever.
him, this lady gave him a ice cube to hold.
huh? As like
Yes,
so for
to
nervousness,
to
calming down.
To compare to the pain, to the level of pain of a contraction. I think it was Kayla's dad, yeah.
Oh, hell no. I
Here,
would.
hold an ice cube in your hand, and this is what a contraction feels like. I'm like, no.
Not even. You better give him, like, hook him up to those electric shock things
Toques?
in your
Toques?
hand. Yeah, the toques.
So, so anyway, long story short, male energy, feminine energy for a woman. That's the other thing I've been into. And I've been, I talked to Laura about that, in Brazil before she came, and she got it,
Yeah.
I believe we even cried together a little bit.
Did.
And,
We had a moment. But
When a woman feels and it's fully aware of your feminine energy, it's so powerful, because anybody can plan, can organize, can do the to-dos. We've become males, and the only reason why we get into our male energy, it's not because we want to, but it's because we feel unsafe. We feel unsafe
Insecure.
and insecure that nobody else is going to be able to handle it. So we can handle it. We can turn around and handle this shit like, no
Like
tomorrow.
bosses.
And because we feel insecure and unsafe that our partner is not going to step up to where he or she needed to step up, because we're talking about energy, not sex. Right? So, we get into that male energy. And when we discover and we are able to fully, live into and be able to distinguish and know when to exercise our female energy, especially women who are executives. Oh my goodness. Or in a position of managing, right? You're taking care, you're handling stuff. You come home, guess what are you doing? You're managing again. The best example that I've had is my latest ex-husband said to me, he gave me a picture of a big lion of the selva. It's like this big, I told you, she laughed because like it's this big wild lion, right? Picture.
I love this story.
And then he gave me a picture of the lion's skin flat as a carpet on the floor. And that was his analogy. He said, this is what happened to our marriage. Of course, he never mentioned that, but it's why, right?
This is what happened to our marriage.
But, basically it's me stepping into my male energy 100%. You give me the space. My male energy is dominant, but it will rule. It will. I will take care. I will handle. I'll do it. I will.
And the thing is, and what I realized, and so because I also too, when she first brought this up to me, and we were literally, she picked me up out of the airport, and I was like, we were talking about this, and all of us, and it was like a car full of women, and then she mentioned this, and it took me almost 3 weeks that I was there to come to the comprehension of what she was talking about, and that it's not okay. It's not okay for me to operate at that male energy level on a constant. I have to feel feminine, and so this is what this trip was about: is us being feminine, us being okay, and just
celebrating our femininity.
Yes, and because we have to step up to these fucking roles. I'm not saying fucking, but I'm just saying, but because we have to be bosses, we have to manage in the workplace, manage in the home place, because we're alone and we don't feel safe. And of course I don't feel safe. I mean,
or protected.
How many times have I've mentioned on this podcast that when I travel, I carry knives. I carry knives in my hair. And so, and it's just like, and I have this very energy when I walk, I don't walk like, I mean, I do, but when I'm traveling, I carry myself with a very forceful energy so that I don't seem like an easy target or like an easy victim, or, you know what I mean? And so then we do have to carry in, but when she first mentioned it, and it kind of lingered in my head, and I was just like, huh, that's interesting. But she gave that analogy of her husband was this lion, and then at the end of the marriage, he was the carpet of a lion when she walked on.
Wow.
But I don't mean to throw anybody under the bus, but the thing is, it's like, for example, if I have to take my car to the shop to get the brakes fixed, to do the, whatever the car needs to get, checked for. On Mother's Day, if I have to come and have my brother say, here, follow me here because the brakes need to be checked, the car needs to be checked because it's already squeaking, you know what I mean? Come back, get the party ready, get the tables ready, it's Mother's Day weekend, and then come back, and then at the end, pay. That's what I mean by male energy. If I have to plan every trip, if I have to plan, when we pay the bills, if I have to plan, you know what I'm saying? And of course, there's other, relationships, but if I, male energy, planning and organizing is male energy. So if the woman in the relationship has to do all the planning, all the organizing, figure it out when things are going to get done and how, that's male energy. And then all of a sudden you wonder why there's been, a difference in the closeness, in the intimacy, in the, you know what I mean? So it doesn't matter. This has nothing to do with you being independent, with you being self-sufficient, right? With you taking care of your bills, paying bills together, paying the mortgage together. It has nothing to do with that. It just has to do with energy.
And
Right.
trust me, when I first heard it, and I was just like, huh. And I kind of just like filed it away, like, okay. I don't know what she means by that, but okay. But
We're on the road to discovery.
as the days
we-
progress,
yes.
and then and I'm telling you this, as much as for her, it was for me very enlightening, and also because I've never had girlfriends like a lot of girlfriends, you know what I mean? I've always had just male friends, and so I guess I've always been so used to this being that way. And then I'm like, no. And then she's like, we are discovering our femininity this trip. We are discovering women empowerment. We are discovering sisterhood. We are discovering. And so then I got to finally explore this other aspect of me I didn't even know I had, or that I had a capability of doing. And so it like blossomed like a beautiful flower. Like
You
a
are.
beautiful
The
lotus
beautiful
flower.
lotus flower that you are. Yes. And then to
So-
allow yourself to be feminine. And that's what men really want. A man with a male energy does not want to be with a woman with a male energy. It's simple as that. And then there's a lot of problems in relationships that are happening because people don't know how to distinguish the male and female energy in the relationship.
Yeah, people want to be loved.
Everybody
ways.
wants to be loved, and understanding that, especially from women, because what happens is women that want to do everything end up doing everything, and then resentment builds.
Do not micromanage, folks. Spread the tasks.
Yeah, and I've done that. I got basically 3 divorces to confirm that, and I went to Brazil to find my femininity. And I found that there's no better way
Then
to
samba.
find. You were sexy. You got those
I bet.
feathers. I got the glitter. I'm in the middle of
mean,
that
that-
parade. I'm doing the.
Yes, you're strutting your whole
You're-
body. You're embracing yourself for who you are, for what you look like. It does not matter. You are embracing how beautiful, feminine you are.
As feminine as it gets.
Yes, it was so
And
empowering.
twice, 2 parades.
She did. This girl is beast. She did it like back to back, and I was like, "Girl, my feet hurt." I was
And
like,
all the
I'm
technical rehearsals.
okay, and I was just like, "Oh my god, I can't wait to post that little video of you." Oh my god.
So anyway, so I found my femininity, and what I really tried to express to during the samba class, and every day to all women, we're already built to have the masculine energy, and when we learn and we understand how to use our feminine energy, we're unstoppable.
Unstoppable. Oh my god.
Wait, do I have feminine energy that I can
Everybody
harness?
has.
Everybody has both.
feminine and
Everybody has
and
both.
that's why
The
and
duality.
actually, I'm glad you mentioned that. You know why? Because when we have this really screaming masculine energy, guess what? Who we attract? Man with feminine energy. So that's why we're taking care of all the bills. We're taking care of all the schedules. We're taking care of all the relationships.
Ooh, I'm liking
we're
where this is
taking
going.
care. We take care of
like-
everything, and that's one of right. So I don't want to point names or whatever, but talking with these women with highly feminine energy, men that want the women to take care of them at every level. I'm not saying they don't pay half of the mortgage or half of the rent. That's not what I'm saying. It's the day-to-day stuff. You're the one organizing all the bills. When are you going to pay it? How are you going to pay it? You're the one organizing the family trip vacation. You're the one organizing where we're going to go on date night. You're the one selecting what restaurant you're going to eat. And
Wow, they're just being taken along for the ride, and it's almost
Right.
like,
Yes.
come on, there's
Oh
gonna
my
be.
God.
And
I
guess
think it's
what
like
happens
a
to that
push and
woman who
pull.
is deciding
She's gonna
and
be
playing
tired.
and doing all these things?
It's exhausting.
You know what's gonna happen is somebody else is gonna come along and is gonna do those things for her, and she's gonna open her eyes and say, "What? Huh?"
We
then-
want to be taken care
Yeah.
of. We want, but then at the same time, you have to allow the man to do it.
Yeah.
So I did a few tests, and I told her about this test. It was funny, And then again, no mentioning names. So we go out on a date. Like, where do you want to go? Oh, sweetie, you decide. What do you mean? I decide. It's like he was lost, right?
Panic.
You just because I'm so overpowering, right? Deciding everything.
Loba.
A little bit.
Now I know.
I'm like, sweetie, you decide. And he didn't know what to do, and I had to keep, because it was the training that I got from this feminine energy training. So I said,
Oh,
okay.
so there's a whole class of this feminine training that goes along with the samba. Is this in
conjunction.
conjunction to the samba class? Not only are you getting samba classes,
powerful,
we're going to train
feminine,
you
empowered
the
women.
power to the V. Gosh,
Oh, empowered to the V. I love
yeah, right. Because I gotta say, it's ruled my life, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. I need to do my things, but absolutely, I think it has to be a shared space for things to work. It has to be a shared space.
Yeah, because it's such a, that little dinner. You came. It went such a long way of what we
What
needed
did you
in our
guys eat?
relationship.
I'm just curious now. What did he
I
decide?
actually don't remember because he chose. It was like I think it was Italian. I really made a point of throwing back that mayo energy back to him, right, for him to decide, and he chose the restaurant. He chose the time, and then I went a little extra, and I actually had him choose what we were going to eat.
Wow. Well,
It was like a honeymoon. that
yeah,
night.
no, but you know what? It's kind of when I hear that story, I always think that a lot of women today, like, I mean, maybe because I'm Latino man, and it's like I do. There's certain things that I want to do. Don't take away my masculinity, but there are a lot of times in a group, or even when I'm with some friends, girlfriends, or whatever, I still want to do that, and then they're like, "No, we're splitting it," or "No, I'm paying for you, motherfucker," or this. I'm like, "Oh, okay," but so. You got to let yourself be feminine too. I mean, I think that's the whole understanding, right? You have to let yourself be let yourself be taken care of, but also not let your guard down enough to be kind of abused in a way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's and a lot of men, in your position, see you're a great guy, you end up paying for something that some other jerks did, to a woman
Right.
who
No,
doesn't
I
feel
don't mind.
safe
I
and
mean,
protected.
I guess it's the story of everyone's life. You don't know what you're going to find, but I think that when you do find something, you just take your time. And just
But it's just about really trusting, and there's a lot of women, and like Lauda and I, we shared, if I may, say that, we've had to take care of ourselves from such a young age, doing everything, being both the men and the women, so learning how to become feminine at our age, especially, you're a lot younger than I am, going to Brazil at 54 to learn femininity. I mean, come on. I mean, people look at me and go like, "Are you crazy?" I say, but it's really not crazy.
It really isn't.
And the funny thing about this whole thing is that when you learn you embrace, not when you learn, but when you embrace your femininity, you feel complete.
Yes.
You feel so complete and so strong, and so like it's the piece that was missing.
Yes.
So when I say, "Oh, you found the Valeria over there from 1987," whatever, it's really just finding and embracing my femininity. And I had to put all these costumes and go into all these parades and be exhausted.
this all
Had
comes down to
find-
finding our femininity.
all
folks.
comes down to finding your femininity, and it has everything to do with samba dancing because it's sexy as hell.
Fuck
It's
yeah.
sexy as hell. I'm not gonna argue with that. I totally disagree. It is sexy as hell.
I mean, but
It's very empowering. I mean,
how
you're just
better
like,
way,
boom,
how
boom.
better way, and then not only that, but like it's just that everybody And this is the community, and many communities come together to embrace femininity.
Yes.
All of them, and and it does not just mean super fit model looking people.
Exactly.
It's women of all shapes, sizes, and colors. Literally everything you see it there. Women literally of all ages, of all sizes, of all colors, of
So we're gonna have to
backgrounds.
do that. Whatever samba you want to be, you're following the same like methodology. So in my case, in Florida, it's gonna be RioBela samba, embrace your femininity, and in your case,
Mine is gonna be samba,
samba with
fun.
Lala, samba fun with Lala,
Lala.
embrace your
So
femininity.
just like samba fun, like just
Mine,
have
mine is going to be
fun.
Richmo. Look at that samba go.
Embrace your masculinity.
Embrace your masculinity.
That's perfect.
Oh, my
That's
sorry.
perfect. So that's pretty much it. I guess at the end of the day, is embracing our femininity because we really feel whole and complete and safe and finally like able to like relax.
Yes.
I mean, I think that's a lot of the samba, and the idea of embracing your femininity goes across cultures. I mean, it's
Thank
something
you.
that
Yes.
that we can all agree with.
Yes.
I mean, me being a man, I'm not.
And I understand it's really difficult because I kind of, when she first said this, I was just like, what? What is she talking about? Like, I have to do this because I have no one else to do this for me. And so I have to be this. But you can, it's kind of like a yin yang. You have to have a both. You have to
Yeah.
learn to balance it. Yes, if you are a single woman with mother, whatever, of course, but you also have to embrace that feminine portion of it so that you're not skewing the scales all in one section of male energy. You have a good balance.
yeah.
Even though you are a single woman, single mother, single, it's okay. Yes, of course you have to be in charge of this and da da da, but also allow yourself to be feminine, allow yourself to have that to embrace that, and allow yourself to be a little bit not so like dominant.
Yeah.
I guess.
And and just some tips, some examples of that on how to embrace that femininity, because a lot of women sometimes don't know. But what is that? Of course we're doing a samba, very sexy samba dance class, but you can be doing a bath with flower petals at home,
Which I do.
and with a little spray of
Lavender oil.
perfume in the water, with candles and a nice music,
With a nice Merlot.
with a nice Merlot. That's a night that's embracing your femininity.
Have some chocolate.
Wow, I guess guys can do that too. You hear that, guys?
Yes,
You can embrace
yes.
your
Oh my
femininity
God.
too.
Yes.
I have
I would-
I have
like, I would do
spoken
that.
to so many men that have never taken baths, and I'm like,
How could you not?
Putting your foot down and saying, you know what? I'm no longer taking the garbage out. I've
gotta-
actually done it. I have a son, I spoke between, my boyfriend at the time and my son and someone. It's like, you know what? I'm not the one I'm sorry.
Wow.
But I cook, I clean, I shop for the groceries and other stuff. So why should I be carrying that large garbage can? I don't have to.
No,
It's not very feminine.
no.
Of course, can I do it? Yes, I can. I've been doing it for years, but it's a choice to become more feminine
Right.
and say, you know what? There are two other men in the house that can do that. I don't have to take the garbage out. And I say, thank you for taking the garbage out for me.
Oh wow. I want
Mom
somebody to thank me
appreciates
for taking the garbage out
And
every
guess
day.
what? That guy is happy as hell to take care of the garbage for you.
Yeah.
well, I did that with my son when we lived together and when he was young. I mean, he moved out when he was 18, but his job was to clean the bathroom because I was like, look, bro, when I pee, I don't sprinkle all over the goddamn toilet. So that's your area. He took out the trash, he did the laundry, and his room, obviously, because I'm like, yo, that's where you live in, you have to clean it. And then at that time I had a two story apartment. So I'm like, you know, take care of sweeping the stairs and etc. But yeah.
The best secret of an empowered executive, self, you know, sufficient women, right? Like ourselves, is just sit in the passenger seat
I love sitting in the passenger.
and have that door open for me.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
You know what I mean? It does that mean that I can't drive? Can take the wheel and drive that car?
No.
Of course I can, right? But you know, I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't know.
Yes. I know what you
It's
mean.
a feminine energy thing. Does it have to be all the time? Does it have to be every day? Does it have to be, you know?
Just 80-20.
80-20. There you go. Thank
He
you.
was taking notes.
Yes.
He was paying
I
attention.
love him.
80-20.
And ladies, he can cook.
Oh my God. Yes. What did we eat? Tikka masala, like fresh, all ingredients made.
And knows
fresh.
wine.
She is now drinking a Burgundy.
Burgundy from the
But
France.
we started with this Riesling.
Yeah. So thank you for having me here, Tammy. This has been great.
Oh my
Really,
God.
you guys.
yeah,
No,
no,
what
without a doubt.
great
Thank you
day.
for
And like
coming and sharing.
She flew in from Florida, you know, to handle her own business. And then she just like, you know, I was asking her questions like, okay, so, you know, we talked about this and blah, blah, blah. Can I get all the facts straight? And it's just like, oh, well, you know, I can come on if you want. I'm like, because like the hardest part of doing this podcast is actually getting people to come in when they commit.
It's one thing saying it, and then it's actually one thing actually recording.
Yeah. Once it comes to recording, people are like, oh, yeah, no, I can't do it. And, you know, it's like, and because I am the one that does all the scheduling. so
Oh, she's driving the whole car here. I gotta just take note. I'm taking notes here. I gotta. Oh no.
So you know, I just want to thank you so much for really making yourself available. I know you're like super busy and like I really enjoy having you around, and I was so bummed when I was just like, wait, you moved to Florida?
You know, and I want to mention that, you know, what happened, you know, to you.
What happened?
What happened?
As far as what happened, you know, don't ever, okay, with you or anybody you know, anybody you're teaching and guiding and motivating, you know, through samba to become, you know, this very strong, powerful, you know,
Entity.
yes, men, women, you know, that you can't do samba
That's so
Ever again.
atrocious to me.
ever again.
That is so atrocious because and this is exactly, you know, I mentioned before that I want to start my own class, and it's not going to be like, this is just like some, and that's why I wanted to call it like, I actually played with several names, but in the end, I was just like, just samba fun, like
Samba fun.
samba fun.
Yes.
Just samba fun.
It is. That's
like
it.
Anybody can join any level. You can, you know, it's just to have fun and embrace. Like, I don't know, to me, the music is so lively and so like happy. Like if you can put happiness into a music, it would be samba.
But you know, but do remember though, right? That we're talking about samba, but look at what you're actually doing for the community and for these young ladies, you know, within your community, right? What you want to show them, what you want to see them see through, and make sure they're empowered, they're strong, they're able,
Yes.
they can do,
Well,
right?
not only, well, the reason I also noticed because I did photography for one of our productions, and because I was injured, I couldn't dance. So I was so sad, and I was like, well, I'll just come in and do photos. And actually, Rich did the videography, him and Oscar, and so I got to see like our company perform, and I was like, holy fuck, we're really good, you know? But as I was looking at the photos, I saw like slouching, and it comes from like self-esteem or a lack of, you carry yourself how you feel inside. And so a lot of women who carry themselves with the shoulders hunched. And so what I told the director of the dance company, I said, hey, I want to be able to provide this class. And they said, open to our students, because, I'm part of the administrative part of it. And I said, but this is just like a fun thing. Like I want to do it in a way that it's constructive, not in a way that, because I've been into like folklorico groups where the instructors yell at the students and they're like, why aren't you doing this and that? And I'm like, yo, that is not a positive. Like that actually makes the person grow smaller.
Right. Yeah.
And
Depending
so
on how you.
I want to do the opposite of that. I want to, and I know it's not part of folklorico, but it is, because it's like, no, because in folklorico you have to be very, posture is a key, and so like in samba. So it's just like, no.
You're teaching the missing piece. That's like, I did see that though, what you were talking about now that you mentioned it.
So you remember when I was showing you the pictures, and I was like, oh my God, these girls are just like, and it's just like, no.
But it's an awareness piece.
Yeah.
It's like they don't do it intentionally, but when you make them aware of what their body can do, on how the expression through your body.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it comes from that belly button.
Yes.
And it's, they connect the body with the energy.
Right.
And then, but it helps with your performance, because then now you're trying to portray in it's very dramatic sometimes in folklorico. You have to portray this, and but also with samba. And so it's just like, yo, I think I can apply this same concept into folklorico.
And to life. And to life, because it's all about that breathing. You don't hold your breath.
No.
Until you turn blue, but you hold that breath, and you learn how to, this is so tight, to breathe and talk and turn and look and smile, and
as you hold your tummy.
This is all the practice and all the concepts and all the things that you don't see game day, show day. When people are dancing, this is like, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
It's not
a lot of work.
It's always, it's within reach for anybody.
Right. It is. And they, and the closer they get to it, the closer they accomplish it. And, and when you see, I call it the shkutungadungadum. It's a certain, the swinging of your.
God, I love that.
It's a rebolado. It's a rebolado that you do it through your belly button, and it's in here.
So rebolado means like the gyrating of your hips.
Yes.
Rebolado, gyration of hips.
When you do that, and you get the rebolado with the samba, and the rebolado is like with that core in here, and it's in there, and when people that get the chikutungadungadum, it's just like, that's it, game over.
You got it. You've nailed it.
I'm going to write that down the first day of class.
That's shikutungadungadum.
The shikadoo. Everybody's like, what's that? The shikadoo. This is all we want. This is what we're going for here.
It's a motivational thing, and it's like sometimes you have a student get it by the end of the class. Sometimes it's like a week, a month, or whatever it is. It's like when they get it,
they got it.
It's like,
yes.
Wow, they're really...
Yes. And it really does make a difference. And so I really want to, and I was talking to, like I said, the director of this folklorico group that I'm part of, like to extending it to the understudies. So like we're the professional team. And so I wanted to put it into the understudies, because these girls are like in high school. And so
the high school age. It's really...
Which is key. And so that's how, and she was just like, oh my God, yes. And so I literally just had like a quick little meeting with her yesterday, and we're gonna.
And what a better way to connect to that femininity.
Femininity.
Yes, exactly. And to teach them, like, yes.
Find your shikadoo.
I love how he says it. All of those females.
Hey, samba's sexy. You can't deny that. I mean, there's a lot of like high feminine energy there. So
And
watch
fun
out.
'cause, I mean, you really work out hard too. It's like you stay fit because you're working that core so much, holding, that just what we were talking about through that belly button and holding that core. It's like, sometimes people ask me, it's like, all I do is samba. All I do is hold that breath. It's
But it's not holding your breath. It's mostly holding
It's that
tight your
tight core,
stomach
yeah.
and then breathing at that level of holding your core.
right.
So
Right.
it's like like when you let go of your belly, you have a different breathing, but then now imagine
And a
holding
different
your
samba
core.
step.
And when you hold your core, and then this is something that is taught a lot in folklorico because we have to do a lot of spins and spot spins. So we have to like spin and spot, spin and spot, spin and spot. We have to do a lot of that. And so it's a lot of plies and holding core.
Plie is.
And when you, no, you go.
Plie. Okay, so the way
This is like dance.
The reason why
class,
ballet,
the second advanced class of dancing.
the
folks.
reason why it's called ballet folklorico is because we actually I've trained in ballet. So, you do ballet. So these are ballet terms. So plie is when you like bend your knees. So you have to do a lot of plies. But we use it a lot in samba too, because when you samba, you have to plie in order for your hips to move at that way. You have to be able to bend your knees. And so you bend your knees, and then that's how you have the most movement. But you hold your core so that when you turn, you don't wobble. Because when you hold your
firm.
core, then you're
position.
planted.
There's a lot to learn in one podcast.
Yeah.
I want to say,
But it's like, at the end of the day, basically, all of this posture, elegance, it's like, it's really, when you learn to coordinate all of this, consequently, and miraculously, I don't know what happens there. It gives you this self-esteem, this ability of control of your body, be able to
what was
dictate.
it? Shoot.
Projection of what you want to
It's
portray.
like, somehow
It really does.
it somehow it just fluctuates into every other aspect of your life,
It really does.
because once you control that balance of your core, where your core is, your whole body's lighter, your
There you
feet
go.
are lighter,
There you go. Hold your core.
and
Watch it, folks.
it's like an
Hold your core.
octopus. These your core, and your arms go, and your feet goes, and you
But your
turn, and
core
you go.
is strong.
But your core is strong, so that's kind of like your, if I may say, your foundation. And it's like when you take that to the next level and you put that into everything else in your life, it's like, you have your foundation and you do everything else, and you got your femininity, and it's fun, and you meet other people, and culturally speaking, it helped with the Brazilian community, helped with the Mexican community, helped with African American community. I have a lot of Haitians that love to do it. They'll,
Anybody can do it.
in Cuba, I mean, it's worldwide. So
Exactly.
it kind of like answered one of your questions as far as globally, how it affects. It's like, it's really at the end of the day, a methodology. On how you can incorporate this body with soul, with energy, and your feminine energy versus your male energy, and all of a sudden from dancing backwards and wanting to teach people how I was able to learn samba. It was just a real need that I had to, show these people that didn't think that they could do it. I said, listen, I'm Brazilian and I didn't know how to do it. But look at how I'm doing it now. This is what it took. This is like the breakdown technique that I had to put together to learn, because it was so hard for me to learn. So it expedites the learning process, right? So just from trying to teach people how to do samba, look at where we are now.
So many places.
You're in our podcast.
Yes!
Right.
And, it really, it became, all of us, it became a movement.
Yeah. Well,
It has become a movement.
Valeria, we're gonna post all your information
Thank
on
you.
this podcast so that people can find you in Florida, and then we'll also post the times so you can samba Lala in LA.
Yes.
Fun Samba fun. in LA?
Samba fun with Lala.
Samba fun.
Yes, and
in
know
LA,
that
in
she's
LA.
the original thing. She is wonderful, wonderful, beautiful, talented. You know, same methodology, samba dancer and instructor.
Well, I got it from a great.
You have your own
person.
style.
And I'm glad to that I encountered your way of teaching, because it made it so simple and easy and that anybody can do it. And so I just want to spread that. So thank you for developing that for me.
Thank you. Love you.
You can pass that baton or whatever you call
West
the
Coast.
¿Cómo se llama?
West Coast.
Well, thank you, Valeria.
Thank you guys for having me here.
Well,
I had a
Thank
lot
you.
of fun. And the food was delicious. Thank you.
Well, we'll do it again another time.
Yes, anytime you want to join us, just,
Yes.
let us know. We can Zoom to.
I'm going to have to come back here during Carnival.
Oh,
Carnival in Florida. October.
or maybe I can
September,
go over
October.
there.
Oh, you know you're coming. I'm coming to pick you up if you don't
The
come.
next show is in Florida.
Maybe.
Yes, you're all going to be in Boca Raton at my house.
I'll
And
bring all the headphones and
Yes.
microphones. And
we'll be
stuff.
reporting live from Boca Raton in September.
There you go. You heard it here first.
Get
Samba.
your shimmies ready. Get
And your
your
pastries-
heboladas
your pastries.
ready. Your pastries.
Get your pastries ready. 'Cause, oh my gosh. All right, folks. That's
Get your pastries. Not pastries.
That's a great way to end this.
get your pastries.
Pastries. Thank
All right,
you.
folks.
Watch
We'll
out.
see you. Bye
Thank you
bye.
so much for joining us. This is Lala signing
Rich
out.
now. Bye bye.
It's Valéria RioBela. Bye. Beijos.
To follow us, you can go to whathahappened.com for a link to all of our social media and to read our bios.
If you would like us to read your story,
May it be funny or scary or just some hot cheese mix.
please email us at stories@whathappened.com.